This week's lesson is on antagonist. Let's take a closer look at the word antagonist. 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 Write the word antagonist 3 times on the sheet in front of you. Antagonist. 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 An antagonist may also be called the force or obstacle working against the protagonist, an enemy of the protagonist. The antagonist in a story makes the protagonist's life difficult. By the end of this week, you will be able to clearly state and define the word antagonist. You will know how to identify the antagonist in a story. What is the definition of antagonist? An antagonist is the person, force, or obstacle that gets in the way of the protagonist's life. How does a reader figure out who the antagonist is in a story? The antagonist will be related to the main conflict of the story. Once the reader knows what the main conflict of the story is, he or she can see who is making the conflict difficult for the protagonist to solve. The antagonist will clearly get in the way of the protagonist's success. The protagonist will have to face or fight off the antagonist. The book will revolve around the protagonist trying to overcome the antagonist. The antagonist will be related to the type of conflict in the book. Here are the antagonists that match each type of conflict. I'm going to read one for each slide. The first type is person versus self. The antagonist is the protagonist because they are fighting with themselves on the inside. In a person versus person conflict, the antagonist will be another character or group of characters from the story. In a person versus society conflict, the antagonist will be a government agency, a school, a company, or a set of rules or laws the protagonist is fighting against. In a person versus nature conflict, the antagonist will be an element of nature, a storm, blizzard, fire, a wild animal, or being stuck out in nature. In a person versus fate conflict, the antagonist will be an event the protagonist cannot control. Look at the sheet in front of you. Complete the review on antagonist. Match each main conflict with the correct antagonist. After watching this video, you should feel able to name your antagonist, explain how you figured out the antagonist of your book. If you still feel confused about antagonist, watch the video again.